Welcome back to Dave's Cooking Show, and for you today, I have chicken fettuccine with a creamy, delicious lemon sauce. And first thing you want to do is you want to get a couple of chicken breasts, and you want to trim the fat off. We want these really lean, and you want to trim off all the kind of the little excess pieces and shit like that. Rub just a touch of olive oil on there. And basically, I want these fairly thin, fairly tender. So you're going to want to grab a mallet and, also season with all-purpose. And then pound these and pretend there's some dumb fucking feminist face. And you want to pound these fairly flat so they get nice and tender. If you're smart, unlike me, you'll grab a piece of saran wrap, clear film, whatever the hell you want to call it, and put that over the chicken so the little bits of meat don't get stuck in your goddamn tenderizer. Okay, that one's done. Time to pretend this is Riley Dennis's face and pound away. Okay, and then in a pan you want to get a little bit of olive oil or grapeseed oil heated up. Doesn't really matter, your preference. And then we want to add our beautifully seasoned and flattened chicken, and you want to fry this up till it's done, or 165 internally. Okay, let us start on our sauce. Now, our chicken is done, and this is the biggest mistake people make when they make their own sauce or cook with meat. You see what I just dumped in? That was the chicken drippings. That's pure flavor. I don't want to dump that down the drain. That's going into my sauce. And then to that, we're going to add somewhere between about a quarter cup and a half a cup of white wine. The wine is completely up to you. If you want it a little sweeter, go with a sweeter wine. Want it a little drier, go with a drier wine. Completely up to you. And then we're going to let this cook for just a couple of minutes just to burn the alcohol off. It shouldn't take long. Okay, now that we got our wine and chicken dripping mix going along nicely, it's time to add the other shit to this sauce. You want to grab 2 cups of beef broth and put it in here, and 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. And no, this is not a light dish, and this dish does, take some time. So it's kind of a perfect weekend dish when you have nothing going on. And we're going to add the zest of 2 lemons, and make sure to cut yourself on the zester like I did. And you're going to want to add the juice of, if you want it a little lemony, add the juice of both the lemons. If you want it not so lemony, only add 1. That is completely up to taste. So the zest of 2 lemons, and then we also want to add the zest of 1 lime. There is nothing like lemon juice to let you know that you have a small cut on your hand. And last, but definitely not least, we're going to add about somewhere between 5 or 6 tablespoons of butter. Yeah, like I said, this ain't no health kick dish. And if you're whining about the fat or calories of this, remember when you go and take your girlfriend out to dinner, both of you have probably each eaten a quarter to a half a stick of butter each. So just keep that in mind. So let the butter melt up. And we're going to let this sauce simmer for a while, and the length of time is really up to you. If you want a thinner sauce, obviously less time on the heat. If you want a thicker sauce, obviously more. It's completely up to you. I simmered mine, if I remember right, for about a half an hour, and it got to the consistency that I kind of like for this dish. So, but again, entirely up to you how long you simmer it. The only thing I would recommend is that while you're doing this, you do stir the sauce occasionally, Remember, it's a cream-based sauce, and it can burn on the bottom. So, every so often, just grab your little old spoon and give it a good old-fashioned stir. Oh, and at some point, make sure you add the chicken back into the sauce. I did this after about, 10, 15 minutes of the sauce simmering and getting incorporated. Then you add the chicken back in, and again, just reduce down to your desired consistency. About 10 minutes before your sauce, you feel it's done, or when you feel it's done, add the fettuccine to a pot of salted boiling water. Okay, we're just about done. The sauce is reduced by about, 25%. That's about where I want it. And it's time to add our cooked fettuccine to our sauce and give it a stir around. Make sure all the noodles are coated, and we'll be ready to plate up. So grab your spoon or tongs. I tried to do this with a spoon, realized this is working like dog shit, and just grab some tongs. Okay, and grab a healthy portion, and you want to put it on the plate. Again, the sauce a little runnier than most, but just put it in the middle of the plate there. I tried to do a nice little nifty twirl around. It ended up looking like dog shit. And then last but not least, we will add some freshly ground black pepper as we do to all of our pasta. Again, this is optional, but I think it makes it taste a lot better, and I think it looks cool. And there you have it. That is chicken fettuccine with a wonderful lemon sauce. Enjoy!